Hello everybody, today I'm going to be making a card and I wanted to play with these new to me gloss sprays from Dina Wakley Media. These are some beautiful colors and I just want to try a technique that I haven't done before with these. They're kind of like spray paint in that when they dry really glossy and they are permanent. So it's like an acrylic type spray paint. I am going to be using some watercolor paper from Ranger and I'm just going to be cutting it down into 4 panels and that'll give me 4 card fronts. This is also a new die out to me by Studio Lights and it's supposed to be a shaker, but I'm going to use it a little different. And then of course I just found these thickers in my stash. First thing you want to do when you're using this is shake up those bottles really well. You're going to notice that there is some pigment on the bottom. Make sure you give it a nice good shake. And I'm going to be starting at the bottom of my card and working my way up because I want it to drip. Now, when I am done spraying, it is crucial that I go ahead and clean that nozzle off. Otherwise, it dries to like a glue and a sealer and you will not be able to use it the next time. I'm going in with some Orchid. I am paying a little bit of attention to my color family with this. I'm making sure that the colors I'm using blend nicely with the colors below and above, just because as it drips, that bottom layer may still be wet and it may mix and I don't want any mud, but I do want it to drip down, so to speak, and blend out. Now next up is going to be this beautiful blue. And again, I do have everything listed for you down below. When I go in with this blue, it kind of covers up all of that purple. So I actually go back in a little later and add a little bit more purple right there just to bring that out. And again, I am kind of letting it dry between the layers, but if it's still wet, it's okay. By the time I layer on the second color above the first layer, that bottom layer is already dry and my chances of things blending into mud are non-existent. I am wiping off the bottom of that card panel just to make sure that I don't get any pooling. And one thing I do is I also clean up between each layer, and what that does is it just allows some more dry time and I don't have to go back through with my razor on my glass mat and try to clean all that up. So I like to clean in between while I'm doing this. I am holding it up so that it does drip. All right, next up, I'm going to be adding this beautiful green. I do have everything I'm using listed down below. If I can't find it, I will find a nice replacement for you. There is something that I use on this card that unfortunately I found at a local craft store, and it was one of those one and done type deals. So I'll try to find something for you, but you probably have something in your stash you can use for that, and I'll get to that in a minute. All right, and then last up is lemon. This is one of my very favorite colors. I'm a big fan of yellow, probably because it's so bright and happy. I am having a little bit of an issue with the nozzle right there, so I do take and work on it a little bit because I didn't clean it before I used it. So make sure you really go in with a wet, warm rag and wipe up those nozzles every time you use this. Now, Ranger does have replacement nozzles in case you have screwed up like I have and didn't clean it before you capped it and put it away for later use. I'll list those down below. I actually had to pick up a couple of them because I have ruined my nozzles due to laziness. All right, and I'm just going to let that dry up after I get done laying down a little bit more yellow. And we're going to go on to create the center for this card. But I'm really loving how it's looking right now. It's all kind of blending, rainbowy, grungy look. Perfect for a 20-something-year-old birthday, I think. I'm going to take this moment right now to invite you, if you have any questions, leave them down below. And if you if you enjoy this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel and you enjoy content like this, please go ahead and subscribe. Also hit that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I do have a new video coming out. I'm really loving how drippy that's looking. I think it's going to be a fabulous background. And guess what? If you don't like your background on a card, so what? It's a background. We don't always want to fall in love with our backgrounds because we will not want to create on them. So I'm okay. If not, and it's not always perfect. I did go ahead and take that shaker die that I had and created these pieces out of it. Unfortunately, this really beautiful mermaidy type paper that's kind of shiny, it was a one and done deal. So glitter paper would be nice, or just some cardstock in a different color would be nice. I am going to use the silver little gems on this to around the edge on that black frame. And I also am just gonna run the letters through my little sticker maker, because I just don't want to have to deal with glue. I just want to do it this way, make it nice and easy, just run it on through, and then I can just put those on my other piece. Now, this is supposed to be a shaker card die, but I like to think outside of the box, so I'm actually using it more for a centerpiece. And I cut that bottom circle, and then I also created that frame. Look how cute that is with those beautiful gems. It did take some time, but this is a personalized birthday card, so I'm okay with it. I am putting foam squares to adhere because I want there to be a little bit of dimension on this card. Plus, I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna have to lay those stickers on it. And I would rather lay the stickers and tuck them under a frame than lay them on top of a frame. However, as you see the card come together, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. This die set from Studio Lights is really, really cool. I gotta tell you guys, they have some very cool sets through, and I believe the store that you can get a lot of them through, I'll have it listed down below. It's called Ecstasy Crafts, or Ecstasy Crafts, I think is the name of it. So go check it out. They have some really fun interactive card dies that make some really neat cards that are fun to put together and fun to receive. Now that I have that frame there, I'm just gonna go ahead and pop my letters on just like you would stickers. I opted to do a black frame and a black card base because the background is so colorful, and these pieces that I'm using for the letters, beautiful mermaid type paper, shiny. It was just a lot going on, and the eye needed a place to rest. So whenever you're creating a card and you're like, oh my gosh, this is just too busy, try popping some black down or some white. Those are neutral type, they're non-colors, and that'll really, really just pull everything together. You can either pop some vellum down in the back if you want, and that'll also tone it down if it's a little bit too busy. But I really like how this one turned out. So I'm just kind of playing with where I'm going to end up putting that happy. I tried on the top bottom, then I tried on the side, and I'm just trying to figure out where I want the placement on that. But I end up going back to the traditional way in which the die set said to do it. Really didn't like this so much. I thought it was going to be hard to fit on my card front, though that is super cute, but I realized I'm like, that's not going to fit on my A2 card front, so I have to go ahead and just glue it onto the back. Now that I have it all put together, I'm going to go ahead and just assemble that card. I am using a black card front, and then I'm going to take and ink the edges with my jet black archival ink. Again, this just finishes off the card panel, pulls the whole thing together. A nice little added detail. Since it is archival ink, it's going to go beautifully over that gloss spray. And I like to use the jumbo pad because it makes it super easy to swipe. Sometimes you can even go in and kind of flick the paper even more so that you can get a little bit of grunginess, as you can see on the edges where that ink bleeds out. I like to put together my card open because I get perfect placement flat versus folded. So oftentimes I will take an 8.5 by 11 piece of black cardstock or white cardstock or craft. Those are my colors of choice. I cut it down the middle and then I go ahead, score it, and I put the whole thing together. And there we go. I really, really hope that you enjoyed this video and that it gives you an opportunity to think a little bit outside of the box, use your dies in new ways, and try out some fun new products that maybe you haven't done yet to spark your creativity. Until next time, I'm Beth Skolden. Happy crafting.